Good morning, peeps, or good afternoon, or good evening, or wherever it is now when you're watching this, and I hope it's been good to you. You might notice I've changed the backdrop, changed the aeroplane, moved my lovely Dreamcatcher down, and hung the tote on the side. That's the English market in Cork that I went to with Tracy on our tour, our lovely tour of Ireland. If you want to see any of that, Tracy made some cracking videos and we put them up on Facebook as Tracy and Mark at the Edge of the Grid. Some good videos on there of our time in Ireland. But when I'm talking about Tracy, I've got to congratulate her on passing her finishing her first half marathon as a granny. She did it with her sister and her two sons. Oxford half marathon last weekend. Well done, Tracy. Yeah, well done. Where am I? East of Nuremburg, about 30-40 clicks from the Czech border. Falkenburg it's called. Had a lovely walk round yesterday. I put that up on Facebook and Instagram last night. I quite like that poem I put up, apart from I didn't read it through before I put it up on Instagram, and there's a couple of, I put that instead of cat and silly things like that. And you can't edit it on Instagram, you can on Facebook. Bit of a pain, but there you go. Poor data here, so as soon as I finish this I'm going to roll on. There's a town about 10 clicks east. Hopefully find some data there. I know there's a free camper van park up, so probably go sit there for a couple of days. Only 5 more sleeps until the pension pays, and then I can do the Czech border. Looking forward to that. Next. Yeah, I'm doing this a year late. I was all planning to go last September, and the COVID restrictions were such that you were getting transit times across countries, 48 hours from test to test sort of thing, and I wasn't into doing that. I needed to take my time for financial reasons really, and because that's what I do. I drift along slowly. So I'm a year late, but in that year I have met some truly amazing people that have changed me quite drastically and given me a lot of strength to do this journey. So it was probably a good thing that I waited that year. And now I'm going to talk to you again about some of the people that have inspired me. And the first one I want to talk about today is Daisy May. Daisy May lives in Salisbury, spends most of her time looking after her old mum. But at weekends and when she can, she gets in a little van and goes out to Stonehenge. And Daisy May is lovely, but she's come from hell, she is the quintessential hippie chick. And but you listen to her story sometimes and you just think, how did you survive? But she's lovely, but she does still have the fires of hell flickering in her sometimes. But she just needs good people around her. She is just, yeah, Daisy May inspired me a lot to be able to understand that you live your life the way you want to, as the best you can. The next one I want to talk about is Aileen and Summer. I met Aileen at Alan's. I'll tell you about Alan another day. Aileen spent a lot of time abroad. She got COVID repatriated from North Africa, but she spent a lot of time in Egypt and North Africa working as a dive instructor, and then she was living in North Africa when, I'm not sure which country, but they told her, you got to go, so she had to go. And she decided already that when she come back she wanted to do van life. but didn't plan on coming back that quick, I think. So she came back with Summer, got a van that turned out to be a disaster, so I had to get rid of that one, get another one. And I met her down at Allen's. She was getting a heater fixed. And we got talking, and she didn't know park ups or anything like that. I didn't really know the game. So I said, look, I know some people with children who live in vans or live our lifestyle, and I'll take you over and introduce them. And that's what I did. I took her over to Westwood, and I also showed her the Sanctuary and a few other places. And because she shares custody with the father, she has Summer with her every other week. So the week that she has Summer and Summer's in school, she's tied. But when she's not, she rings me up and she says, "Where are you? Where are we going?" And she tags along behind, and we go and find different park ups. And she's a bit of a she brings me luck, actually, because when she's following behind and I'm going to a park up, we always seem to find a better one. And we did things like went up to the Peak District and met the Peak District convoy and some lovely people up there, and we go down to Stonehenge and or wherever. Yeah, we just go around. She kind of knows I'm safe to park next to, and she's doing all right now. I think she's, yeah. But Aline is inspirational in that you can come back and do this and just do it. Do van life. Yeah. Lovely. Now Debbie. I met Debbie. Sarah rings me up sometimes and she says I need to get away, so she brings her tent, and I'd blagged a ticket for a folk festival down in Bath. Somebody had pulled out, so I got the ticket, one ticket. So I picked up Sarah at a station. I said, "Don't bring your tent up, put mine up." And we went down to this folk festival. I said, "I've only got one ticket. You'll have to hide in the back where we go for the gate." That worked well, and then we blagged her an armband, and then we met up with the other people that are going to be there, and there was Debbie and Ange, and they got on like a house on fire. They had a great weekend. But Debbie was a Reiki healer and spiritualist. Now I'm an old cynic, grumpy old git, quite famous for her. But she said she'd demonstrate a healing, so I sat in a chair and that's, if you've never tried that, you want to do that. That is really quite something else. Then at the end of it, she said, "Your mum asked me to give you a message." Now my mum's been passed a long time, bless her. And she gave me this message from my mum, which has changed me irreversibly. I'm not going to tell you what the message was. It's something I knew that has been wrong with me most of my life. And now I know why. And it just, well, so Debbie she has, I'll put it up in the description, but she has a Facebook group. She just absolutely redirected me massively. I mean massively. And now Jane. Oh, something just pinged me. Jane, she was going through a change in her life. She needed to change. And she was thinking about van life, and she'd gone onto one of the van life self-build groups or van life groups and asked a question. And some of the groups, you get some really inane answers. But anyway, I said, if you've got any questions, PM me. I'd be quite happy to advise. I've been van lifing for about 5 years then. And so she PM'd me and we got chatting, and we've chatted ever since. She's going through the big three at the moment. She's just ended a relationship. She's moved house and changing jobs. And it's been a bit fraught for the poor girl, but she's strong and she's lovely. And we chat about, we've met for a coffee a couple of times when I've been passing through where she lives, and we just chat about everything, really. She's just lovely, and when I'm down she can cheer me up. If she's down or I'm down and we talk to each other, we always end the conversation smiling, which is just so lovely, nice. Jane, she's wonderful. And that's the 4 I was going to mention today, and you might have noticed they're all girls this week and last week. It's not always been that. It's not all girls. There's some boys I'm going to mention next week, some guys I'm going to mention next week. But they've been inspirations and motivations for my van life, which I love so much. Now a story of daring do and things gone by. After I finished training in Catterick, I was posted. My first operational tour was 3rd Division Headquarters and Signal Regiment, Carter Barracks, Bulford, on the Salisbury Plain, not far from Stonehenge. I didn't realise how close it was to Stonehenge, because when we weren't off doing soldering things, we were off down the King Billy in Salisbury, drinking copious amounts of Watney Starlight. But yeah, that was my first. That regiment was the headquarters regiment for the 3rd Infantry Division, which is still based in Bulford. I think it's the only division we got left now. But we had 2 roles. We were strategic reserve, so we used to go off and do strange things, and we were part of the 1st British Corps. We were the infantry division in the 1st British Corps, which was based in Germany. So we have to go out to Germany 2 or 3 times a year in convoy, 150 vehicles, cause mayhem wherever we went. So from Bulford round to Dover we'd normally go in packets of 8. This is before the M25, so it was South Circular. The dual carriageway in the 303 didn't get anywhere near Bulford, so anyway we'd troggle up there, troggle down to Dover, get on a boat, get off the other side, and be formed up in a massive convoy through Belgium. We would have the military police escorting us, Belgian military police, and they had big Harley-Davidson motorbikes, and we were doing 35-40 mile an hour for hours and hours, watching the tail lights of the vehicle in front. But anyway, these coppers would ride along beside us on the Harley-Ds, and I look out at my cab one day driving along there, and this policeman's rolling a cigarette. So I watched him. He rolled his cigarette, and I wound my window down and passed my lighter. He lit his cigarette and rode off. I've never seen that lighter again, but hey. And then we'd get to the Netherlands, Holland, and we'd stay in a big convoy, and the Dutch motorway police would escort us through Holland, and then we'd get to German border, and it was form up in packets of 8 again and go off to our first location, which was wonderful. And then we'd have 10 days, 2 weeks, getting cold and wet and muddy and rained on in Germany, and then we'd do it in reverse. Or sometimes we would go to Hamburg. Was it Hamburg? Anyway, North German port, and we didn't like that, because we knew we were going on an LSL, a logistics ships landing, a Navy type transport ship. And then we would be spending a day and a half, 2 days trundling down the North Sea, being followed by a Russian trawler with lots of aerials. But we also knew we would be going into Marchwood. Marchwood's on the Solent, just down from Southampton, and it's a military port. The Americans used to have a lot of stuff there as well. But it's also where the customs train their customs officers. And a convoy coming through was just easy picking for them, because they knew we would try. Because this is the time when 200 cigarettes and a bottle of spirit was all you could bring in. But hey, we had lots of hiding places. So the last vehicle in a convoy was always the wrecker, the recovery truck. Remy. I won't tell you a derogatory term about them. Veterans always greet each other with a derogatory term. So I happened to come off the boat behind the wrecker, and I know where all mine was hidden. I thought I was pretty safe, but they were going over this wrecker with there was 4 or 5 customs officers going everywhere, and they couldn't find anything, and they were getting really despondent. And I thought they're going to be really upset now because they haven't found anything on the wrecker, so they're going to go over me like a dose of salts. Oh well. We weren't. I don't think we were fined. It just all got confiscated. But anyway, the wrecker. They finished with the wrecker, and the driver gets in with a big smile on his face, and he's about to drive off. And then one of the customs officers says, "Whoa, stop! Extend your boom." The wrecker crane on the back. You could see the driver's face drop. And as he extended the boom, the cigarettes, the whiskey, the televisions and everything else started to fall out. So they were happy then, and I got through without much of a search. But they weren't. The Remy guys weren't not very impressed. But hey. And because they don't use MKs anymore, I'll tell you where I used to hide mine. I used to take the door panels off, make bandoliers of packs of cigarettes, keep my brother and my dad happy. My brothers and my dad happy. But hey, there was another hiding place we had as well, but I won't give that one away. So that was 3 days. You got to also remember that if a veteran tells you a story, it's probably a little bit misremembered, might be a little bit exaggerated. I'm not saying we make them up, but yeah, no, that one was true. Maybe a little bit misremembered, but good times. Now for a poem. This poem, I've got my markers in right this time, so I'm not going to spend hours searching. This poem is a couple that I've joined together. And it's really for you bricks and sticks dwellers. I'm 18 minutes in already. Cool. Anyway, look at the box on the side. It will tell you what to see. No, look up, look wide, look around, to be astound. The sky so high, the land so wide, so long, the sea so strong. Look now, don't leave it. Look away from what your box has told. Look at them, look at thee. Look wide, look high, look free. Is it your time to turn, untether, and travel? Is there a test to see if moving and improving is what you need to be? To travel, to tour, to have no roots at all. To trip along, singing your own song. Live long and strong. What can go wrong? This one, I was lucky enough to attend a hand binding ceremony at Stonehenge, and I wrote this to the couple that joined. In the heart of old Wessex kingdom, beauty so profound, with good man is bound. Traditional tie, but meaning from high. By raised stones so old, their story is told. The souls joined in freedom. It lifts spirits high to all in the heart of Wessex, Old Kingdom. And finally, coincidentally, the name's not in the poem, but it was her birthday yesterday, Saturday. So I'll read you this one. She came from across the sea, this cloudy bright glow, working to be free, with anchors that pull and dreams that tug, clear but unsure, so strong with love. Her strength to infuse, her dreams to light up. If you know her glow, it'll warm you so. That's my poetry for today, my story and my people. I'm going to leave you with a short one. A van is a can for a woman or a man to live with or without a plan. Happy travels, lovelies. Click.